Hey guys, this is Mike. Welcome back to Open It and Play. Today we're going to be looking at the Star Wars, the Black Series May Assassin. I guess that's how you pronounce her name. From the Star Wars, the Acolyte series. Now, the Acolyte, I think, was kind of a tremendous failure from what I heard. I did not watch it, and I'm not a Star Wars guy. But I can tell you I bought this figure for customizing. And another exciting top of the box look. And the bottom. So for customizing, I'm going to be trying to make a Dr. Druid figure for my Avengers display. And I'm planning on just using this cloak. So this figure was very cheap at Toys R Us. These figures went on clearance. So it was a very easy to pick up figure, but it's a lot cheaper than the original price. But I don't know why they're not popular, but unfortunately in Japan, I've found over the years that a lot of characters that are of black ethnicity or of African ethnicity do not sell well. It's kind of a shame, but unfortunately, racism does exist here too. And unfortunately, it seems obvious by the toys that go on clearance sometimes. But it's kind of weird if like all the series of something sells out except for the one character of like African descent. So I didn't want to feel that way, and I tried to hold off judging it to be that way, but after many years in Japan, it's become kind of clear to see. So I don't know if that's the reason for this character specifically, but I'm guessing this is a relatively unknown property in Japan. So Hasbro, you probably shouldn't try to sell this in Japan. I don't know if this thing is going to work as well as I thought for Dr. Druid, but as long as it can fit over a Marvel Legends buck, I think it will work out. But as with this May figure, we're going to look, or as with every figure, I should say, with this May figure, we're going to look at the accessories first. We'll try to stand her up, though she's very hard to stand, it seems. Okay, she's not going to stand. I have very few Star Wars characters, or Star Wars figures, but the ones that I've had are really poor quality from my experience. So I don't collect any Star Wars for Star Wars, though I did have a few of the retro collection. So my son could have some of the Mandalorian figures. When the Mandalorian first came out, I was quite interested in the Mandalorian. So I bought a few like of the 3.75 or 4-inch scale figures. But I didn't buy a lot. I bought mostly used figures from some shops here in Japan. And then to go with those figures, I bought the more fantastic modern version that was Mandalorian. I forgot if I have a Baby Yoda. I think I have a Baby Yoda, but yeah, super tiny ones. So those are kind of hard to get out of the box. Sorry, these are kind of hard to get out of the box, but these are the accessories with this figure, and they are very small. It's a teeny tiny set of knives. I hope you can see that okay. But I think these must be a kind of throwing knife because of the way they look. And it looks like they're heavily inspired by what people stereotypically imagine as ninja weapons. But I honestly don't know if there were ninja throwing knives like that or if that's a more modern creation. Okay, and then we also have this little face mask, I believe it is, that goes over the figure's face. That might be useful for some other Marvel character, but we're getting to the main course of the figure, which is this cloth cape. That's the only reason why I bought it. But we will give this figure a fair look. So as with many Star Wars figures, I think this is only going to have single jointed elbows and knees. Yeah, and it seems to be the case again. All right, let's look at this figure overall. So she does come with this cloth goods hood and cloak. Sorry, hooded cloak, I should say. And you can pull that down to show her features a little bit better. Let's try to zoom in. Okay. And she's got this hair that reminds me kind of Typhoid Mary, but I don't think I can make a Typhoid Mary with this head. Might be able to use the hair, but I doubt it. Okay, and she does have these kind of metallic highlights for her paint job, giving her kind of a silvery sheen and sort of an armored breastplate. And then this is a softer rubbery overlay that kind of gives almost a kimono type appearance. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but I think a lot of Star Wars goes for that type of look. So, okay, hooded or robed. It's kind of the name of the game when it comes to Star Wars, right? Okay, and so I'm going to take this off so we can actually clearly see it. That's what it looks like. It is sleeveless, so that's not fantastic for my Dr. Druid, but it's not the worst thing either. So I think I can work with it. For her posability, she does have a joint at the lower neck and the upper neck, but I can't really tell what's going on. It looks like that is a bull joint in there. And up above, I can't really tell, but you can cock her head to the side very well. She can look up a little bit, look down a lot more. Okay. And then she does seem to have butterfly joints, if those are indeed butterfly joints. Yeah, she has butterfly joints, but these butterfly joints are really dodgy. They don't seem to be doing anything. So it's either a butterfly joint or just this overlay makes it look like a butterfly joint. But it does seem to move around in there, so it's just a pretty poorly made butterfly joint, I think. Okay, and her arms will go all the way around. Then, as we said, the the single jointed elbows that can pose up to better than 90 by quite a bit. And then she does have a swivel at the elbow, so that does give a few more options. And her hands, okay, she has a vertical hinge. I'm sorry if it's hard to see this. It's hard for me to see because today is a cloudy day and kind of rainy day, but okay. That's a trigger finger with a vertical hinge. Okay, and then moving on, she does have a diaphragm joint that moves quite a bit around, side to side too. Okay, and inside here, does she have a waist? She just has the diaphragm joint for the cut. Okay, and then she can kick up to here. She has a little bit of swivel in there, but it's not very much. So there's no thigh cut. Then her joint at the knee will pose like this. Back that far, so not, is it 90? It's not quite 90, but it's close. Okay. Does she have boot cut? Yeah, she does have boot cut. Okay. Boot cut, and her feet will go back that far, hinging and hinge forward that far. And she does have ankle pivot. So I'm sorry, this is a pretty rough look at her because I can't get it to focus very well. It's always like she's slightly looking out of focus, but also the lighting in here. As far as the splits go, for some people who might be curious, she can basically do the splits. So that part is kind of appreciated. If the kids are going to play with this toy, which I doubt many are because they probably don't know this series, she can do a little more of an action pose. Okay. All right. But yeah, my main focus is this. So I'm going to check really quick if I can put it on kind of a typical Marvel Legends. I'll try a Sunfire body. Hopefully it'll fit okay. And we'll put this hood over his head as much as possible with those lightning bolts. Okay, I think this will work for Dr. Druid. I think it'll work to the extent that I need it to, but you can be your own judge if you're a Dr. Druid expert. Dr. Druid is kind of a failed superhero, but he's sort of like Doctor Strange's first version, but he was kind of a failure, so they didn't do much with his character. But he was on the Avengers for a while, so that's the main reason I want to make a custom of him. I don't know if they'll make a figure in the future. They do make obscure figures sometimes, or obscure characters sometimes in figure form, but I kind of doubt it with Dr. Druid. He's just not cool enough, so. Okay, so did you guys watch the Acolyte? I heard it has like a crazy scene with like Star Wars witches, but I also heard that it may have been based on a book from the 90s, but also Disney kind of disowned or disavowed all of that 90s Star Wars lore, even though they seem to take a lot of inspiration from it in their current projects. But I don't like Disney. I don't like Star Wars very much, so I know I'm crazy, but Ewok Adventure is where it's at, baby. I'm going to stick with Wilford Brimley and Wicket and Teak. That's where my Star Wars is mainly based at. The Mandalorian Season 1 is great, but beyond that, it kind of pooped the bed, shall we say. Okay, and I'm sorry, I think I forgot to give you a measurement on this figure. I was too focused on the cloak, so let's see if we can get a measurement on her real quick. She stands quite small. So she's at, we're looking at 5 3/16. So about 13.1 or 13.2 centimeters for this character's height. So yeah, kind of dinky. Sorry, I did it in the wrong order. I wanted to give that to you straight off the bat. So, okay. Thanks, guys, for joining me in this weird look at this kind of forgotten character. I know it's a recent thing, but where I live, nobody knows about this thing. So, but I suppose hardcore Star Wars fans might. But most people have left the franchise because of Disney's mistakes. So, man, those new Star Wars movies are bad. The ones with Rey, I mean, I can't believe they didn't have like a plan for the story. Just like devastating to the real Star Wars fans. Fortunately, I'm not a big Star Wars guy, so that's, whew, I dodged a bullet on that. But anyway, okay, see you guys in the next review. F ice and F any other Snazis that live near you, right? Okay, thanks guys. Bye for now.